Hi Steve, so here we are going to assembling the 18 by 18 matrix switcher. So right now actually we have one unit here. So this is the back panel. For the tools, basically we need two screws, and one is like this one, the cross screw, and another one is going to be the 5555, and it's going to be look like this one. Okay, so now we're going to start it. So first step, we need to have like the screws on the top panel, and total we will have the 8 screws. After the screws, and we can move the top panel, then we can see the inside of the matrix switcher. So next step, and we will have 3 screws on the side panel, and in the middle one we don't need to uninstall another screws, only 3 screws on this side. Then we need to turn to another side, and also we have another 3 screws. So after these 3 screws, then we need to have this one and go to the bottom side. On the bottom side, we will have another 3 screws in the middle side. On this side, the fans we don't need to uninstall them. We only need to make sure these 3 screws, the fans are okay to keep them on. Then we put it back. Then for the mainboard, and we need to make sure and all the input and output cards are plugged out, not connect to the mainboard. So all the cards and the input card, all the input card we need to plug out. But these 2 control cards we don't need to, we just keep them connected. It's okay to leave them on. And also the output cards we need to plug out, but the power supply okay to have them on. And also we need to plug out the power supplies. Total we have 2 power supplies on this side. We need to plug out. So make sure and the power plug and ready out of the nut to stock the mainboard. So we can just plug out the power supplies. Then we will go inside the mainboard. So here's the mainboard. We just need to flat a little bit. Then we can just disconnect with the control board. So these 2 control board basically from this side. So these 2 cards we don't need to plug out. We can keep them tight. We don't need to uninstall them. So we can just have this one. And the first step, we're going to unplug this rear cable. And another one on the bottom side. And also on this side we have another one. And we can just have the mainboard and also the wires for this one, for the red wires and black wires. So basically you can get the mainboard back. So for the mainboard right now we also need to have several screws and including 2 fans on it. And we can just disconnect the wires. And we will have all the screws disassembled. On this mainboard we actually have lots of screws on it, so we need to make sure all the screws ready. also the two fans. So the screws on this mainboard are the same, so we don't need to separate them. We can just put all the screws on this side. So now we already have all these screws. So now we actually can move. We need to use this screw, which we mentioned before, because we actually have another 4 screws here. But this one, if you don't have this screw, also you can use another tool, which like another tool to uninstall these 4 golden screws. Then after that, then we can actually have the mainboard. We can just using the mainboard, and we can use the mainboard to put on this one. But for the direction, we don't have the direction, so we can just put the mainboard, change to the mainboard, and we have all these screws back. Then we will have the screws to the mainboard. So now it's going to be almost the same way to the opposite way if we are assembling the mainboard like we did previous. So now we just have all these screws back to the mainboard and also the fans. When we do the disassemble and assembling, we need to make sure and don't crash the components on the PCB board. So now we have the fans back to the mainboard. have the wheels connect to the, and here we're actually using the 5 volt, because here we actually have two connectors, but we use the 5 voltage, and also the same with this one, also 5 voltage. Okay, this is the replaced with the new mainboard. So now we are going to have the mainboard, new mainboard, just install back to the chassis. So the first step, we just have this wire, which is connect to the connector on the mainboard. Just press it a little bit, making sure it's tight. And then we have the wires which connect to the top side. And we can just put it back to the chassis. And we have another wire which is connect to another connector, which is connect to the bottom one, not the top one, the bottom one. Then the next step, we need to have the control card, and which the two cards we did uninstall and connect to the mainboard. And we will have like the top one and also the bottom one on the side. Okay. Then we will have these two cards already connected, and we will have the screws back to from the chassis, from the side panel. But when we have the screws back, but we cannot tie it very tightly at first, just because we need to adjust the position for these screws. Now we can have the top one first, then the bottom side, then the middle one. Then we just tend to another side. Then we will have another side, and also same, we'll have 3 screws. And we can start from the top side. Then the bottom one, we can just use hand from the inside to put a little bit to make sure, and the screw can connect correctly. And then the middle one. Then we'll have the mattress to the bottom side, and we have 3 screws. And we'll have the 3 screws connect, install back. Also same, we can start from the top, then the bottom, then the middle. To the middle one, and then we can just put the mattress back. Then we can put the mattress back, and last step, we have the top panel. And now we can just plug all the input and output cards back, and also the power supplies and the top panel to cover the mattress switcher. And this is how we do the how we replace the mainboard of this mattress switcher. And after the power supply, all inside bag and the output cards, and also the top panel. Then the top panel put back on the top side and have it screw on. And finally, we finished the replacement of the mainboard. Then we can just have the power to the power supply, and we can turn on the mattress switcher, and we can start work. Thank you so much. I hope this video can be helpful for you to replace the mainboard. Thank you.